I don't know, almost like without the sort of still drunk feeling and just the miserable feeling.
That's what you get for eating shrimp scampi at the yacht club.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it could have just been a bug. Because I don't think anybody else got sick.
Oh, but the bay is so clean. Is that what it is there? Is it a bay?
No, we're on a creek, basically.
No, I mean, the Annapolis?
Yeah, we're on a little creek it's you have to cross a bridge to get over it with it's a bridge that opens up for boats to come through. So it's not like a tiny creek, but it's called like Spa Creek.
No, but I'm talking about Annapolis itself. Yeah, it's like Whitehall Bay or Severn River.
Something like that.
The Severn River goes into Whitehall Bay.
Yeah. No, we don't get the food that we don't get fresh food. Our staff dinners are like banquet stuff that's left over.
But what are they so the banquet people don't get fresh food either? What are they eating? I thought
No, they get the fresh food. They get like, batched things that are cooked all together, and you go down a buffet and you pick things up. So we get some of the leftovers of that.
Oh, so you're saying the scraps were sitting out for too long.
Yeah, that sat out during the event and then were put away and given to us.
What did
Not
you
like even the same day, it could have been like 2 days ago.
What did you end up eating? Crab cakes?
Well, never. I had some like meat. It was like a beef. I don't want to talk about it. It's making me sick just to think about it.
Did you reheat it and then you let it sit again and it cooled down to room temperature and then you reheat it again? People do this, like with soup, for example. If you make a bunch of soup and then you reheat your soup,
that's bad.
You're not supposed to reheat the whole vat of it unless you're going to eat the whole thing. So if you cook it the first time, you eat it, you store it in the refrigerator, you take it out to eat it again, and you reheat the whole thing. If you don't eat it all at that point, then it cools back down to room temperature before it goes into the refrigerator, and then it has the opportunity to grow even more bacteria. Then you heat it up again, and people think, oh, when I heat it, it'll kill the bacteria, which it does, but it's their waste product. You're supposed to scoop out what you want.
Yeah, duh.
Well, I was lazy. I used to just want to, back in my soup days.
I feel like that's longer because you have to, your soup days. It's not like the salad days, the soup days.
No, you're right. It's longer because it takes more to reheat, more time, but less effort. You just have to plop it on the stove, and then you sit and go do something else.
I see.
I never got sick from it, but I read about it later. It's not a good thing to do. And then I thought about all the bacteria shit. Just the bacteria's poop floating around in my soup. And I was like, ugh, disgusting.
Well, I sort of watched Alone while I was stuck on the couch. And in this season, one of the guys, he's from Mexico. And he was saying like he likes to drink sketchy water. He tries every day in his like own personal life to drink sketchy water because he's building up his resilience, like his tolerance for bacteria. So while he was on Alone, he didn't start a fire, I don't think until like 30 days in, because he didn't like maintain a fire the whole time because he wasn't boiling his water to clean it. He was just drinking the water straight and he was fine.
Was there some disclaimer? There had to be, don't do this at home. Don't be a fucking idiot.
Yeah, they always talk about, they always have these little things that come up, like a little chyron that says, drinking, water straight from whatever has this many and can cause intestinal issues and boop-a-doop-a-dop. They always disclaim everything.
Yeah, just because one guy survived and you saw that guy doesn't mean that it's a safe thing to do. It's like shark attacks. When people I was watching a show about people who were attacked by sharks and they were recounting their stories. And then there was a big reveal at the end of each story where they showed their wounds, meaning the present day. So like one woman had lost a whole hand and they didn't show her hand until she was done telling her story. And then she lifted it up and she had a robotic hand on there that was attached to her nerves and that she could move by thinking. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
But I was thinking about shark attacks, and I don't know what the numbers are. People say it's rare. It's obviously happening enough that we hear about it, but, people like to talk about those stories, so of course you're going to hear about them, whether or not the people live or die. But each one of these stories the person tells, it's like how the shark bit, and it was just millimeters away from hitting a vital organ or an artery that would have killed them almost immediately. And I was like, yeah, hindsight's 20/20. In retrospect, it's easy to tell that story because you're alive. So, yes, luck was on your side. But how many people attacked by sharks actually do have the teeth sink into the vital organ? And I don't know the numbers, but just thinking about it that way, because when I was watching, it's easy to be, oh my, wow, it was so close to killing you, and it didn't. And I guess in its own right, in a vacuum, that is something that's pretty amazing. It's easy to say, I was this close to dying, 2 millimeters. But in general, yes, of course, the people alive to tell the story are going to be the ones who didn't have their vital organs chomped. So I shouldn't be so surprised.
Yeah, it says that 10 people a year are killed by sharks. It also says that humans are responsible for killing over 1 million sharks. It can't be a year.
I don't know.
1 million sharks a year? No.
It just says 1 million sharks.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you any kind of time frame for that.
I mean, I'm just getting that first Google result, so it's from the World Animal Foundation.
Oh, yeah, they have an agenda to push too.
Yeah. Unprovoked shark bites have decreased over the past decade. In 2022, there were 57 unprovoked bites worldwide. So, which is significantly lower. Baby, it's okay, honey. Shush. Significantly lower than the 10-year average of 74 unprovoked bites. So if we say like maybe an average of 10, so 10 out of 57, 10 out of 60, let's say, it's pretty decent. We are in their world.
Fuck their world. Their world's disgusting. It's a giant toilet.
Our world is disgusting.
Yeah, that's true too, but
the world.
I know air is disgusting, but at least shit doesn't float in air. Particles do, and I understand that. But like the actual logs of poop aren't floating around our faces.
Well, neither is theirs.
Yeah, it's all over.
They dissipate and like get eaten by other fish.
I went snorkeling once and I watched the fish themselves poop. Things suspend.
Yeah, but then what happens to it? Just like
things suspend better in water. They can have more weight and still float. Where in air, yeah, the air's disgusting, and I don't want to really know what's in it, but at least it's microscopic. I don't have the opportunity to see it. Like I'm about to go to the beach. I'm not going to go into the ocean. I'm about to go to the beach on Thursday.
When are you going?
Thursday, the annual fishing trip going to Florida.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't.
I'm going to the beach next week also.
Good luck. Good luck. Like I'm going to be around the beach. I'm not going to go to the beach. Maybe I'll go to the beach one day and I'll sit there and I'll roll my pants up. I'm not putting on any shorts. And I'm not putting on a bathing suit.
So dumb.
And I'm not going into that disgusting water. There's jellyfish. There's other things swimming around you. There are sharks. There's human waste. There's animal waste. People just wade into this. Like, yeah, this is amazing. And I guess it's not so awful because people give you the advice, go into the ocean if you have a gaping wound. It's good for it. It's good.
Nobody says that.
Yeah, people do say that. They say the salt's good for your wound.
For like a little cut or something, but not a gaping wound.
So get into the ocean and that gaping wound will close.
I just had surgery. They didn't sew me up, so I just went to the ocean.
It'll close right up.
Yep. Like in Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade when he pours the water from the holy water from the Grail onto his dad's bullet.
It's the same exact principle.
I'll remember that. I'll get some ocean water.
It's much better than a pond or a swimming hole where the water doesn't even really move. It's just stagnant. The only reason it's churning is because you're swinging into it on a vine.
Well, that's a pond. A lake has sometimes like natural springs
Well, I mean, lakes are bigger.
or like tributaries and things.
I just don't have much interest.
Yeah.
These
You're an Aquarius, which is weird.
these people went Aquarius because of the water bearer.
I guess.
That, that makes zero sense.
I know.
It doesn't. The connection, Aquarius, water bearer, must like the ocean. I like it. We've done the show when I was in Florida before. I've talked about this stuff before. There's no reason to get into it again. I guess we should just officially start the fucking show.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. Couple days late this week because Autumn was sick.
I'm sorry.
I'm sick, which
It was
I don't even know if I believe you.
no.
I feel like you're the kind of person still who would lie. Like, I don't want to do this thing, and if I just say I don't want to do it today, then maybe the person will get angry at me, and then I can't live with the thought of those feelings, so I'm just going to say I'm sick, because then the person...
I mean, that's still there. That thought process is like the first thought process. And then it's like, no, don't lie. Just tell the truth.
And then you apologize.
No, but this time yeah.
And you still apologize for being sick. I'm like, what the fuck are you apologizing for?
I know, because I still feel like I'm lying. You know, like I feel like, when you lie so much to get out of school or a job you don't care about.
Yes.
And then when you're actually sick, you still feel like you're lying. It kind of feels like that.
Yeah, because you've lied so many times to get out of school, to get out of work. That your body's natural reaction, it doesn't matter that it knows there's a difference. It's been trained, classically conditioned to react in a way because it just knows, oh, this Autumn, this person, this brain that controls me. It's always going to tell the fib.
I know. What can I do?
But then the apology is strange. What is that?
Well, I mean, I think you can still apologize, for putting somebody out. Yes, you are sick, but you can still be like, I'm sorry that it's an inconvenience.
That's fair. I don't feel like that's what the apology was. It's like, I feel bad. That I'm so sorry. Please don't be angry. What kind of monster?
Well, I didn't say that.
What kind of monster gets angry when somebody's sick and can't? I mean, maybe I know someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone who
I know somebody who would give you shit for that.
Somebody who's sick themselves quite often, but if other people are sick, the sign of a good employee is never calling in sick. That's what good Americans do. Good Americans are about hard work.
Yep, putting their own needs or dreams or aspirations aside. Your goals and aspirations should be solely focused on the success of a business you work for.
If you ain't working hard, if you ain't putting in 60 hours a week, you ain't a good American. Now, excuse me while I go do my 15-hour-a-week job. It's, just poking fun. None of it's that serious.
No. It only feels serious when then you are chastised for, having a different attitude.
Yeah, speaking of sharks in the pre-show, we need a shark now to bite and chomp into this thing.
Baby! Hey! Come here. No bark. Stop barking. Why you do that? Why you bark at everybody?
Because they're their mind. What are they thinking? Oh, there's a person. I'm going to bark at it.
I know. Well, he barks even at things he likes. He's excited. He just barking is his default. It's like if he's scared of it, he barks. If he is excited, he barks. If he's curious, he barks. He's just a barky dog.
He has this need to express himself, which apparently it's carried over to the animal world. This idea that everyone should have the right and the ability to express themselves, and self-expression is so important. It's not. I was thinking about this tied to the riot that happened in New York, Union Square.
Because of that person giving away video game stuff or what?
Yeah, the video game. The PlayStations and computers and headphones and whatever else was attached to it. I don't... even if you have access to that, why are you doing that? It's always under the guise of, I'm giving back. You deserve that. He said, and what's his name? Kai Cement or something.
Yeah, I don't know him.
He said, neither do I, but apparently 26 million people do because they follow him.
Uh-huh.
He said, New York City deserves this. Why? What kind of arbitrary statement is that? Can I see your spreadsheets and where you ran every city through your calculations and you decided that New York City was the city that deserved this? It's an empty statement to begin with. And then the followers just eat it up. They're like, oh, yeah, you're right. You're talking about my city. I do deserve the free PlayStation. If you're giving back, one, I don't think giving high-ticket items to random people is the way to do it. You could actually contribute to charities and things that have real impact, and you don't need to brag about it or make it public. You could actually just give back if that's what you wanted to do. But you say you're giving back, but it's ultimately about you because you're going to be the one who's there and all these people are going to come out to see you. And then you're going to get I think one of the things with Twitch is you are online, right? You don't have the experience of being on stage like a band or a comedian or whatever the fuck other professions perform on stage. And so to be in front of an adoring crowd, I'm sure it's pretty alluring, and you know that you can draw them out. So, from the start, I don't believe any of the motivations.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
So for whatever reason, it devolved into chaos and an actual riot. And I was annoyed with this person. I'm annoyed with the Twitchers in general because my feeling is the fame isn't deserved. And it's illustrative of the fact that people just want fame for the sake of fame. And now that they can get it, they don't have to be that talented. I watched some of this guy's videos. I watched some videos of someone named Icy Wyatt or something like that. This was a person who was in Florida who drives a very noticeable pink truck, I think it is. Maybe it's an SUV.
Okay.
But it's like bright pink. I don't know if that plays into the story or not, but there was a road rage incident where Icy pulled a gun out and was menacing with it because somebody else was yelling at them on the road. He tried to play it off like they knew who he was. Who else drives this pink car? They don't like me. But from the looks of it and from some video that was captured, he aggressively flew past a car and cut them off. And I don't think it had anything to do with the pink car or it being Icy fucking Wyatt. I don't know if I'm getting the name right. I think I am. And I don't
Icy Wyatt.
I don't care to look it up. So this incident plays out, and then at some point the police go to Icy, and he's like, "You know who I am? Don't you know who I am?" I'm like, "No, I don't know who you are." And I know that celebrities have pulled that shit in the past, or anyone who has a bit of fame. Like there's a Braves player, Ozuna, who everyone just fucking loves, even though he had domestic abuse charges against him, and because his wife dropped them, everyone, see, it wasn't found guilty, they were dropped. I was like, that doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean anything. You could be abusive, and she's like, but I get a lot of money being with him, and whatever. Or maybe nothing really did happen. I don't know the details, but those allegations alone I don't like. And then he got pulled over for a DUI, and there's audio of that, and I think video too. He's like, "You know who I am? I play for the Braves." Like, who cares? You fucking think you should get special treatment because somebody knows who you are. So I do know that it goes to everyone's head who gets in, not everyone, but it happens enough. People.
Well, especially these kids. I mean, this Icy Wyatt's 25.
Yeah, and this other guy is like 21, I think, who incited the riot.
They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They have a lot of power and a lot of influence, and they don't have the wisdom to know what to do.
No, and they don't, and at the point they have no reason to get the wisdom. That's the thing what bothers me the most. It goes to their heads.
Well, maybe this is the stuff that maybe they'll gain wisdom from it.
I don't know. I'm sure that Kai Kuntat, or whatever his name is, probably is playing the victim right now. I just wanted to do good. Do you know who I am? I'm going to turn my followers against you. I'm going to get them after the police department, and I'm going to have them destroy New York. How dare you? Maybe
just judging a book by its cover. I feel like that's more. If you just look up Icy Wyatt, I feel like he's the one that would sort of turn people against you. You know what I mean? Like and switch the narrative that he's the victim.
Well, the Icy.
I don't know why I feel like that. He just looks like a
No, he's trashy.
Yeah, he's trashy looking.
The Icy Wyatt thing was funny too because he was denying that he pistol whipped a person. So with his gun, he was menacing, but he apparently hit someone with it too. And he's like, that didn't happen. And he called his girlfriend before the cops took the gun away, and she came, and she was acting all high and mighty and trying to, act, because I think she's an influencer also. So there's that air of superiority and entitlement. Yeah. And she said something. It's like, he hit the hillbilly. So she just did. She blew his cover. Didn't know he had lied about it. Was trying to say that he was defending himself and had the right to hit them. So they couldn't even get their fucking story straight. So that was pretty funny.
Cool.
But the Kai thing, I watching his videos, and I didn't watch a lot because I couldn't stomach it. But it was to me, it was this, and then a lot of talking about chicks being hot. I was like, okay.
Oh, really?
I was like, okay, cool.
Ew.
Cool. But it's what his fucking videos. And for whatever reason, what is the rhyme or reason? How do these people even get followings in the first place? It's just chance, right? Anyone else could be just as dumb, just for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't understand. I know that, mostly Pete will watch little things on YouTube where people are playing games, and it's like a bunch of them, but so it's like 4 people all playing Minecraft, and you can hear everybody else speaking, but you're only watching that one person's channel that you're sort of following. And then you could watch those other people play that same game, but on their own YouTube channels. So it's kind of brilliant in a way. But yeah, they all are yelling, and it's like, I don't really even understand how they do it, but they'll have these almost like little sketches, where it's like, I'm walking into the house, and like, oh my God. And there's like, I'm here with my diamond sword. And like, oh my God, drop your diamond sword. It's like, where are you going? It's so weird. And it's also so loud, and they're all yelling, and they do a lot of laughing about things that that are not funny.
It's like 6-year-olds.
I dropped my diamond sword. Blah, 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 blah.
It's the way 6-year-olds play when they play with toys, and they yell, and they create the scenarios. And how old are these people on the videos?
I don't know.
18?
Let me look it up, because I know they like AFMAL. I don't know.
They're probably 18 years old. And look, if you're having fun doing that, great. And if people enjoy watching it, great. It's when millions of people watch it, and then
she's 33. This person.
My God, Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Ew.
She's 33 years old.
33. Yeah.
And she's got. Also, let's say you were 33 years old and you had millions of followers, but all those followers were 6 to 12.
I mean, whatever. You're making money. Get your coins, I guess. But also, you're so annoying.
Okay, that's fair. I would be happy about the money, but I would be wholly ashamed, and I wouldn't talk openly about what I did. I'd say I do internet stuff.
Right.
Well, then people would think I stripped.
Just say you're an accountant. That's what they all say.
I think I stripped or something, which fine. I wouldn't care, but it would be funny to think that I could pull in millions of dollars from stripping online, which I couldn't. But, if I do internet stuff, people are going to think that probably, or porn. But I wouldn't say I'm big amongst the 6 to 12-year-old range. It's like, sure, I get a lot of money. But do you go in public? I would never do any public appearances. I wouldn't want to.
You wouldn't. I mean, you don't really need to. I don't know. I mean, some of the first questions that people ask here is like, is she real? How old is she? What are people's real names?
Is there anyone claiming that this person is a groomer? Because that happens quite often, which I think is misplaced most of the time. If somebody does something online and children happen to take to it, by default, it doesn't make the person a groomer.
Like Mr. Beast.
Is that the guy who just does the giveaways of things?
Yeah. But he also has like chocolate bars or something.
So he's luring the kids.
Which is wild because the kids see it in the store and they're like, oh my God, we have to get it. And like this Prime drink that is so popular. I don't remember who does that. Whether I don't know if that's Mr. Beast, but the kids freak out like, oh my God, can we go to 7-Eleven, get Prime?
Mr. Beast. Pushing consumerism. That's ultimately what all these people do.
Oh, and my kids are, well, especially Ellie, she is like such a consumer. She is a capitalist. Like she wants to buy. Anytime we go anywhere, she's like, I want this. Can I have this? Can I use my own money? Can I do that?
Well, it's harder these days.
Purchase.
It's harder to get away from it these days because in the past it was commercials, and commercials clearly had an effect on kids because they would see toys they wanted. But at the same time, as a kid, you hated commercials. So
right,
when you were able to remove the direct messaging from the advertiser and put in an influencer to buffer it a bit, it's the greatest wool pulling over the eyes of the public scam in history. It's like, hey, because you're listening to the word of the person, even if they have to say, like on Instagram, this is paid content, it's still coming through them. And especially with kids, I think it's harder to differentiate that. So the bombardment, like the stuff that they watch, not to say that watching Transformers as a kid wasn't a straight up commercial, because it was. It was the cartoon was made because of the toy line. And not to say that.
Is that true?
Yeah. The toys were out first and then they made a shitty cartoon. Like it wasn't a good cartoon. They didn't care. That wasn't the point. The point was to push product. So
well, and kids don't care about quality all that much.
No, I mean, you can't follow complex storylines anyway. So
yeah.
And if the animation is bad, what do you care? You're just like, hey, I have these toys, and now the toys are on screen, and and then you get the spin-offs like GoBots, which I preferred for whatever reason.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe I just GoBots.
Did they stick together like the GI? Oh wait, GoBots wasn't a GI Joe thing. That was a Transformers.
Yeah, it was a ripoff
thing.
of Transformers.
Did they stick together like Transformers?
I don't remember. That was the thing. I rarely got the toys associated with the cartoons. My parents didn't buy me a lot of toys. I mean, I had plenty of toys. I don't say that like, oh.
I had a Slinky once. I straightened it.
I had plenty of toys, but my friends were spoiled as fuck.
Right.
It's amazing thinking back to some of my friends growing up, how much like I got to pick one gaming console when the Super Nintendo came out. It's like Super Nintendo or Genesis.
Ooh, what a hard choice.
I went with Genesis. And I don't regret it. I like Super Mario World, but I would go to my friends and he had both. And then he got the attachments for like Sega CD and all the other shit that came out.
Yeah.
And he had the Game Boy and the Lynx and the Game Gear. It's like, what the fuck? He had every fucking Ninja Turtle that would come out. The new, it's like Ninja Turtles Samurai Edition, which they wouldn't do these days because it's cultural appropriation. But it would have the traditional samurai garb on. Every fucking thing that came out, this kid got. I bought a go-kart. I saved up mowing lawns to get a used single-seat go-kart. 2 weeks later, he had a two-seater, brand new, twice as fast as mine.
He didn't have, but you appreciate yours.
Yeah, I bought slick tires for it. I spray painted it.
I just, like he could wreck his go-kart and be like, whatever. Whereas you would maybe not do the thing that might wreck it because you appreciate it more.
That's true, but when you're a kid, you're just looking at.
Yeah, you don't know that. No wisdom.
It's like the whole family, though. It's like we have a conversion van.
They were just some rich bitches.
We have a conversion van with the TV in it. It's like, wow, my God, you're watching TV when you're going.
Oh my God, I remember thinking that was, just the upper echelon. I didn't know anybody with a TV in their car. But then once it started happening and it was like, you'd be driving, this is when I'm much more of an adult, like driving behind someone with the van that has the TV in it. You're like, what are they watching?
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Before flat screens.
Oh yeah, and you would have to get like the DVD, almost like Walkman kind of thing. You have to carry it around with you. Remember, like on airplanes, that was a thing for a while. You had this like big chunky.
Oh yeah, with the screen attached to it, so you could
with
watch.
the little screen.
But the conversion van, it was like an actual
That's cool.
tube TV up in the ceiling, and there was mood.
A tube TV.
There was mood lighting, and there were captain's chairs, and the back laid down into a bed. And
Damn.
it's like, man,
this family.
if I have to go to fucking Upton's with my mom, and I hate it, and I'm so bored. If we had this van, then I wouldn't mind going to Upton's.
Upton's. Oh my God. I haven't thought about Upton's in 300 years.
Yucky Upton's is what
Upton's.
I apparently called it that as a kid.
Yucky
I
Upton's.
could not stand going to. I mean, clothes shopping in general was torture.
Yeah, especially with your parents, and it wasn't for you. You're like, ugh.
And they had a trampoline. They had everything. They had absolutely everything.
What's this kid up to now? This 41-year-old kid.
Well, he was a couple years younger
Rich
than me, so he's
kid.
probably 39.
Richie Rich.
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think that like his parents see my parents sometimes, and I don't know if they listen to this, and I'm not trying to say anything shitty, but I also think he had a tough go at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there was difficult times in his life. We bonded over like fear of dying at a young age. And he always had this idea that when he got older, he'd just replace his heart because he thought that you died because your heart got old.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which it's not.
As a kid, that makes sense.
It's also not completely wrong. It's not that simple.
Right.
But the idea that you could just get a new heart, you just swap it out. I was like, yeah, that's it. And if there was anyone to get a new heart, it would have been him. If you could just go to the store, I'd ask, Mom, can I get a no? And then he'd have a brand new heart plus 3 more.
Oh, yeah, it's backup.
Yeah, and in telling that story, I mean, whatever. It was as a kid, it's like I had things, and the toys that I had were, I really liked Ghostbusters, which was the strangest toy line because Ghostbusters was not a kid's movie. But they parlayed it into a whole toy line, and then they released the Ghostbusters cartoon.
Which didn't really look like the Ghostbusters, but only kind of.
Well, Ray, for example, was fat, I remember.
Right. And Egon didn't really look like Egon.
No, he had blonde hair with a...
Yeah, he looked like the Kate McKinnon Egon.
The real Ghostbusters, they had to call it because there was already a cartoon called Ghostbusters out there. It had a gorilla.
They really leaned in on Slimer.
Yeah.
With the ecto cooler.
Yeah, Slimer became a because he was their friend in the cartoon. He just hung out with them.
Right. Did he talk, or was he just like blah, blah, blah,
I think it was that. Similar to Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah.
They just they're never really in Ghostbusters video games that I remember though. There was one later on. But I don't remember that tie-in.
There wasn't. I wonder why. Because that'd be a great, I mean, hello, it's like built for a video game.
What big business. Like all of it is. It's
Yeah.
You just come up with intellectual property and you expand it out. No wonder the companies love it so much these days.
It doesn't always work though. I mean, even like all this Disney stuff with Star Wars.
I'm sure Star Wars still sells a shitload though. It doesn't.
It does, but when you go to the store, you know, they're not buying, little kids are not buying like Rey action figures.
No, but they want
They
Grogu.
still want Chewbacca. They want R2-D2.
Like it didn't matter how good Mandalorian was or any of the other shows. The fact that they got Grogu out of it was all they needed.
That's
how
true.
much Grogu shit have they sold? I'd like to see.
Grogu is cute. He is so cute.
That's the point. I get it, but I wonder, the cynical side of me is, was Grogu really written in for the sake of story, or did somebody say, we should make a baby Yoda, so now write a story about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the start if that's the start, I feel like the show wouldn't be as good because the show is quality. So I like to think that its origin is not like so motivated by just money.
Well, but
like I could see it the other way where it's like, let's expand this universe of Mandalorians, of Boba Fett's, and then we need to give this guy a job. He's protecting this thing. What is the thing? Well, let's make it really cute. Because the rest of the show is not like doesn't match that aesthetic.
Clearly,
the rest of the show's
at some point, this discussion was had though. If it didn't start out that way, it was had later. Because why in season 3 is he still hanging out with the fucking baby Yoda? Because I thought Grogu was taken away at the end of season 2 Mandalorian. He was like, oh, thank you. Here you go, Luke. Take him. Get out of here. And somehow he winds up with him again. That's seemingly where we are.
Yeah. They have to keep him because he's so cute.
So yes, that's why I said at some point the discussion was had. It's like, what should we do for season 3? It's like, bring the baby back. Just pair them together again. Yeah. That's what people want to say. Also, why would you want to act in that role? What's his name? Who's become very popular?
Yeah. Daddy.
The guy who plays the Mandalorian.
I forget his name. Daddy something. His name's Daddy.
Pedro.
Pedro Pascal.
I don't know why you take that role. Your face is shown twice, and then in the story, it's like, you showed your face. You're no Mandalorian. Please, I'll do whatever needed to be brought back into the fold. Okay, we'll let you back in because you proved yourself, but never show your... Why is he on set? Why is he there? He should just let somebody else run around, and he should do some voiceover work, and he should go home. I think it's a very strange role to take.
I'm sure it's both, right? Like he could have a body double and just do the voiceover.
At least early on, I know he was there on set. Maybe that shifted too.
He does it because he's a cool dude. And I don't mean cool dude as in like the way I call guys cool dudes, being shitty dudes. He's an actually cool dude. So I think he wants to be there. He wants,
Yeah, he got a lot of fame. I know he's been around for a bit. Yeah. But he got a lot of fame.
He's always been awesome.
Got a lot of fame later in life. And you know what? He's acting cool about it. Not like going back to what we were talking about earlier.
Exactly. Icy. And Sanat.
You know who I am? I don't fucking care who you are. Even if I did know who you are.
It doesn't mean you're not exempt from rules or law.
Yeah, also am I supposed to be impressed? Because you do that online and somehow it lured in followers just because.
Did you watch any of Icy's stuff?
I haven't watched any Icy stuff.
Ugh, it's a lot of TikTok. It's less Twitch, it looks like, and more TikTok.
I don't understand that mindset that they hold, that because they have 26 million people, which again, a lot of people in the scheme of the world, not as many as you think, but I don't have 26 million people who know who I am, who listen to anything I say, who give a shit about me in any sort of way. So I don't mean to dismiss the 26 million, but because you have 26 million people, somehow I'm supposed to be impressed.
Well, it's just a lack of, and like I said, they're young. Well, I don't want to include that other person, the Sanat person. The one with the PlayStations giving away. I don't know why. He just looks like a nicer guy.
I know. The videos I watched, not so much.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. But
I could be wrong.
Yeah,
when I say the videos I watched, it was like 5 seconds of 2 different videos.
Okay.
That was...
That's more than me.
That was enough for me to gauge.
I just, they are young and they just don't know. They don't have any humility, because we've lived long enough where let's say something happens and things blow up for us and we have 27 million followers.
I quit because I don't deserve 27 million followers.
Well, you're insane, but I'm saying we could look at it and say we have been unknown for so long that if we got known, it would be, whoa, that's crazy. Look at that. And then we would just live our lives, It wouldn't be like, it wouldn't become our entire identity because we've lived more life to make our identity more solid. Where these kids, they're young. They don't know. They have nothing else to lean on.
You think I'm joking when I say I would quit. There's a very real part of me like, what the fuck is this? I don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to act like I wouldn't think it was cool. I think there's a fear that maybe it's impossible not to let it go to your head. It obviously doesn't happen with everyone. Keanu Reeves is another person who seemingly is really nice. And he does shit on set, like carry gear. And he buys his whole stunt team Rolex watches. So there are people, but I think that there's a big part of me that feels as though it's almost impossible to not let it go to your head. And the thought of being a person where it went to their head is so insufferable that I have to avoid it completely. And I think on that note, we're going to end the show because Autumn's internet is gone again for God knows how many times. I'll be the one to take us out. Thank you for listening to One Topic. There's some hot sauce associated with the show. It's Autumn's friend, childhood friend. They live in Chattanooga. I forget what it's called. A man with a beard. Man with a beard hot sauce, I think. If you use the promo code OneTopic, you get some kind of percentage off Man with the Beard hot sauce. Do we make money off of that? No, we don't. Because it's not just about money. It's not just about fame. It's about helping friends and looking out for other people. All right, on that note, we'll be back next week, hopefully on time. Not a show that's 2 days late and hacked together with 16 different segments because somebody's internet didn't work. Goodbye.